Okay, I'm gonna make a little video for some of my friends. Me and my wife do a lot of wheeling, and we do a lot of wheeling by ourselves, so we're not with a group. So the kind of setup I have here in my Jeep is for like, this is just the day trip, you know, where we're gonna go out in the mountains, but we could be somewhere very remote where if we break down, it could get really cold and we could be in trouble in a hurry. So I've already released one strap on this stuff, but the most important thing, you know, we're going in the snow, so this trip, there's some max tracks. I already took the strap off of these just for simplicity, so it's a little faster. But, you know, the one thing is my emergency kit. So no matter where I go, even if I'm camping, base camping for the weekend, and we're gonna take off and go up into the mountains and disappear for the night, well, that'd be nice if we could make it back to camp, but the reality of it is we may not make it back to camp because Jeeps break. Not the most reliable things ever made, okay? So this bag right here, this is our life support, and this is the main thing I'm gonna focus on. There's a couple boxes in here. You know, come on over here. So I'm gonna set this here. These, seems excessive, but these boxes are recovery gear. So for the winch, we all know how long a winch rope is. Not that long sometimes. There's a whole nother length of winch rope in here, straps, block and tackle, lighter fluid, things to make fires, things like that. This is tools, U-joints, fluids, you name it. JB weld to repair a radiator, all the basic things maybe we can repair on the trail. You know, we have tools, straps, the building air up, a shovel, first aid kit, just kind of the basic stuff you take in a Jeep, you know, chainsaw, battery jump starter, emergency clothes. But the main thing is this bag is what will save your life. And this is a dry bag. And if you're going to be broken down and you're going to spend the night in the woods, it can either be comfortable or it can be really miserable. So wherever I go, I have this bag. Okay? So if we go through this bag and I take this out, this is a down blanket. No sleeping bags, just a down blanket. This is a sleeping pad. We have first aid kit, survival tools. I'll kind of lay some of this stuff out that I have for you here for spending the night. Let me get everything out here and lay it out for you. Some of it I'm not even sure what's in here anymore. Fire starter. This is all paper fire starter. Okay. Another down blanket. Okay. This is a backpacking stove, fuel. This is a teepee tent. If you can zoom in here, Hong, there's no floor, a single pole, and the shelter goes up. It weighs nothing. And we always have tarps in the Jeep. So for the floor, you make a tarp. But this is, and I've never even used it. It's brand new. I hope I never have to use it. I set it up in the back there one time. All right. Freeze-dried food. Okay. Freeze-dried food. Soup, peanuts, some stuff. And here, this is an MSR stove, coffee, pot holder, sugar, things we need to do to have coffee so that if you're gonna be stranded, you might as well have some coffee. And the reason I have 2 cans of fuel is if it's really cold, this stove will create a lot of heat inside the tent. So when we go over to this bag, I have a light. That's just an emergency light that goes in there. Emergency headlamp. Okay, when I was a kid, we'd call this a ditty bag, okay? So you need to focus on this. This is very important, okay? So in this ditty bag, small first aid kit light. This is a whistle, which is important. Fire tablets. This is a heat starter. Rope for the tarp. Lighter. Emergency light. Hand warmers. Compass. Guess what? GPS systems fail and they don't work. If you have a map and a compass, you know which way to go. Okay? Space blankets, poncho, lots of gauze for a big wound. Okay? And so like I mentioned, in the back of the Jeep, no matter where I go, I always have tarps. There's a tarp back in here. Inside of my drawer, I have a tarp, okay? I always have tarps. So it's the floor, where you're gonna set up a roof. So inside of here, okay, I have stakes for the tarp. That goes with my stoves. Stakes for the tarps. More ropes, okay? I have no idea why I have forks and spoons in there. Oh, probably for the freeze-dried food. So basically, it's between the tent and the tarp, we can set up a pretty good emergency shelter out in the middle of nowhere. Granted, down quilts are not the warmest thing in the world, but if you combine that with a lightweight sleeping pad that you air up to lay on, you can stay pretty warm. It can be the difference between life and death if you're in the mountains and all of a sudden it's 25 degrees at night and during the day it's 65. So pretty much for the emergency shelter, we have sleeping pads for me and Hong, blankets, teepee tent, soup, lots of food to spend a few days, everything to set up shelter, extra batteries for my lights, small. I always have a bigger first aid kit, but still there's just a little small first aid kit inside of this bag. And then whistle, waterproof matches, more fire starter. So really it's like everything that's in here, once you put this all together, you know, it's pretty compact really, and it fits in one bag. So no matter wherever I go, this bag goes in the back of my Jeep and it's always with me. And this is the difference between a very miserable night and a livable or comfortable night when you're broken down in your middle of nowhere without service.